Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, Memorial Day edition. Anything goes, and you know what that means. That means I wasn't creative enough to come up with a topic for the day, which tends to happen when I have a busy weekend and I end up doing other things non card related the day before, which is what happened yesterday. So you're going to get some garden talk this morning. Jenny, good morning to you. Card hobbyist, good morning. Victor is with us. I almost didn't. Everybody was asking me, "Are you going to go live at your normal time Monday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's another day for me, so I'm going to be up and at 'em 7 a.m. as normal." And yesterday, I was hit hard by the allergies. I mean, I know I sneezed over 100 times yesterday. I'm surprised my nose isn't redder because of how many times I had to blow my nose. I mowed the lawn, which it needed mowed. Uh, and my allergies when I woke up, it's like I can feel like, oh yeah, blowing my nose, but like suffer from allergies like year round almost. So it's not atypical that I have to blow my nose in the morning. So you're getting a lot of TMI this morning. So yeah, I'm doing the farmer blows as I'm mowing. It was like I did one path, and it's like, how am I going to get through this? And I did, and it wasn't. It didn't hit me until a little bit later, and I had to run some errands, and probably by like 3 or 4 o'clock. It was such a nice day. It hit like 90 degrees yesterday, and I'm driving down the highway, and I have my windows down because it's 90 degrees. I'm loving the weather, and every time I rolled the window down, I would just start sneezing, and it's like, geez. So I'd roll the window up, air's on. It's like, okay, enough of this. I got to roll the windows down. Achoo, achoo, achoo. Sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. So by the time I finished with like all my chores. It was like 5:30. Where did the day go? It's 5:30. We ordered Mexican, and my wife went to pick it up, and I'm just like miserable. And usually she is like, take some allergy medicine, take this, take nose spray, and I don't do any of that. Like, I have to be in like misery before I do. Well, I reached that point last night. I reached the misery point, and I'm like, okay, I've got to take something, just something to help with these symptoms. So I started with some nose spray, and I don't do sprays. I can't do eye drops. I blink. I'm doing this. I can't put eye drops in my eyes. Nose sprays I'm a little better with, but it's like I don't know how to. And my wife's like, snort it like cocaine. And I'm like, what? I don't know how to snort cocaine. It's like, well, I don't either, but you see it on TV. Just do it like that. Put it up your nose and but breathe. Sniff as you're squirting. It's like, oh, geez. So it did the trick. And then I took she brought down some Benadryl, and she's like, it's going to make you groggy. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait. Cause by this time it's only like 6:30. I'm like, I don't want to fall asleep at 7. So I waited until like 7:30 or 8. And I was just like, I put in 16,000 steps on Saturday, which most of you are probably like, I do that every day. I don't. I average like 4,000 based on my iPhone tracker. I do like 4,000 a day. Sometimes it's like Sundays. Sometimes it's like 2,000. So 16,000 is like my feet are sore. My legs are, rubber. So, and then I mowed on Sunday, took the dog for a walk. So I was at like 12,000 steps yesterday. I'm tired. I'm beat. I feel like crap. I've got to do the giveaway at 7 p.m. So I got through that I didn't get through it without blowing my nose. Had to leave camera for a second to blow my nose during the giveaway. So I took some Benadryl and knocked me out. I was passed out on the couch at like 8:20, and I woke up. Now, normally when I fall asleep on the couch, I'm like in and out, and I'm like cognizant of the time. Not last night, not with Benadryl head. I fall asleep at like 8:20. I wake up, my wife's like getting up, moving around, and I pick up my phone. It's 10:42. I'm like, Jesus, it's almost 11 o'clock because usually I'm sound asleep by 10:42. And she's like, yeah, you've been sleeping for about 2.5 hours. I'm like, holy crap. So I thought, I'm like, and then this morning I woke up at like 6 because I had a full night's sleep, but I was still like kind of like just groggy, tired. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep in. No, I told everybody I'm going live at 7. So I'm going to fight through it. I just kind of scrolled through my phone. It kept me awake enough to finally get up and get down here on time. So here I am. And I actually don't feel that bad this morning. Like I can tell I'm congested. I'm still like, I've still got the allergy eyes, they're kind of itchy. I can feel they're probably, I don't know if you can see if they're red. But I can tell I've got some allergies still happening. So fortunately for me and my allergy suffering, I don't have to, I won't go outside today because right now I have 219 items to ship on eBay because I was running errands, gardening, and mowing the lawn yesterday and suffering from allergies. And then, of course, Saturday was Madison Card Show. Saturday night, I should have done some shipping, but I didn't. And now I'm in the position I am because it's my own fault. So link to my eBay store is in the description. So if you want to add to it and make me work more, go for it. I'm going to be down here shipping in anyway. So let's go to the chat. We're going to get some garden talk. I'm going to use John, that 70 card shows. I love his terms sprinkled in. Dad talk. Is it dad talk? And then I always forget. And then I go watch his video and it's like, oh yeah, I knew that. So we're going to sprinkle in some garden talk. Ed is with us. What is up, Ed? Ed, you're on my agenda to watch the video. I saw rave reviews on your Hall of Fame, Baseball Card Hall of Fame ballot. So I'm going to check that video out this morning. John, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great Memorial Day. My American friends, is it right? You wish a great Memorial Day. I get you can. I don't really know. It's one of those holidays where you don't really say happy Memorial Day because you're memorializing fallen veterans. So I don't know what the proper terminology is. It's Memorial Day. But some people say happy Memorial Day. Let's see, the card hobbyist. Do you mask up when mowing? I assume you meant mowing, not moving. I don't, but I probably should. That's a good idea. It would have probably helped a lot yesterday. Normally, like the pollen count. So like on my weather thing on my, what is it, the toolbar, whatever the thing is on your computer, that's how tech savvy I am. Computers have been around for, I've had a computer for 25 years now. And I don't know what that thing is. My computer science teacher or whatever class that was in high school would not be happy. Whatever that toolbar thing is at the bottom of your home page, your main computer. I think it's a toolbar. There's a little weather thing, and right now it says 68 degrees, mostly sunny, which seems very nice, but there's freaking pollen everywhere. So the last 2 days, it'll say mostly sunny, cloudy, raining. One time it said tornado, and that's like, oh, that's not good. So the last 2 days it said high pollen. So normally it's only this time of year that I have like really bad allergy attacks. It's when everything's really popping. When the flowers are blooming. We have a lilac tree or bush, whatever it is, in the backyard. And so, when I start seeing all those flowering trees bloom, it's like that's going to give me some problems. But it'll hopefully go by here in the next couple days. It'll be good. Hopefully we get a nice good rain. That would help. And then I'm good. And then I don't have to worry about my allergies because I don't have like grass allergies. Whatever allergies I have, it's from whatever's blooming right now, whatever pollen is in the air right now. And it's typically, this is the worst time of year for me. May's a really bad month for my personal allergies. And then usually they're much better moving forward. Let's see. Herman says, "What's up, Herman? Good morning to you. Got to sleep in a little. That's always nice." Card Hobbyist says, "I have to mask when mowing or I'm a mess afterwards." Yeah, and usually it's this time, it's the first few mows where I'm a mess. And then it kind of, I get used to it. My allergies adjust or whatever. Jenny says, "Curious if Herman's going live tonight or if it's on holiday time." Herman says, "No planned show, but I may jump on and share a few things." Very nice. Jenny says, "A big happy birthday to Porter." Happy birthday, Porter. Shout out to Porter. He got an early birthday present yesterday with the White Sox win. John says, "I purposely avoided happy." What do you listen to watch to when shipping items? Various. Usually, this is really weird. But I tend to be more productive when I'm shipping when I listen to hobby content because I think it makes it go faster. Like if I'm watching like an old wrestling pay-per-view or music, it just doesn't have that same, I don't know, motivating factor. But when I'm listening to, I'll listen back to Hobby Hotline. I'll listen back to, I got to watch Ed's Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. What else do I have to watch? Depending on Jeremy Lee on Sports Card Live, depending on his guest, I'll watch that show. Baseball collectors in the house. Mike, I've got to check Bench Clear Media because I haven't watched a Bench Clear in a while. Bo listens to Golden Age of Cardboard podcast. I do. That's in my rotation. So I listen to hobby content when I'm shipping, and that tends to keep me more productive, more efficient when I'm shipping. When I listen to card content, especially if it's like the podcast I mentioned, I really enjoy the content. You kind of forget time and it makes the time go faster and you're just pulling cards, shipping cards, not really aware. But and that's why I like longer form podcasts to listen to as opposed to short form. Dr. Beckett's podcast is great, but they're only 15 minutes. So it's like, and I know there's playlists and I can feel Ken getting angry with me right now because of the playlist, because I know you can create playlists and I haven't done that yet. So I should look into that for the shorter form. Like if I want to put like 5 or 6 of Dr. Beckett's podcasts in a playlist, that way I don't have to keep going back and clicking around, because it kind of takes your attention away. Once I get into a rhythm, and I don't know if other people are like this, once I get into a rhythm of shipping, I'm like super productive. But if I start doing it like, oh, I've got to go, I just have an email pop up or a phone call, or I'm going to go grab another cup of coffee, the more distractions I have, the less productive I am in total, where, it's taken me away from, otherwise, if I have like, okay, this hour block, I've got an hour podcast on, I'm going to do nothing but shipping. I've got all my coffee drank, or maybe I'm drinking water later in the morning, and I can just go. And that full hour is devoted to shipping. So that's what I do. If I run out of videos to watch, I go back to Bo's early days of Hobby Evolution. It's fun to watch and see how it has changed. That's kind of the thing. And I did that for myself. I started this just because I wanted to talk, because I was at home. It was COVID. We weren't going out with friends. We weren't doing things. And I worked from home. So I talked to my wife and my dog. And so it's like, they don't want to hear me talk about baseball cards. And so I just kind of started talking. It's like I bought this microphone, which by the way isn't on because I had the audio issues yesterday. But I feel like when this isn't there, it's kind of like when you're standing, what do you do with your hands when you're standing around? And it's like, do you put them in your pocket? Do you fold your arms? And I always have that issue. to this day, I'm going to be 40 next week, and to this day, I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm having a conversation. And I think many of us are like that. So same with, and I have a radio bag. I worked in radio for 13 years, and I'm just preconditioned to talk into a microphone. So even though this microphone's not on, and I'm, and half the time it hasn't been on because I didn't realize if I opened up the stream window before I plugged the microphone in, this isn't even plugged in, it wouldn't catch it in YouTube. So half the time it wasn't working anyway, but I feel like I'm actually like I don't feel uncomfortable. I feel much more comfortable talking into the microphone, even if it's not working, than I do when there's nothing in front of me and it's like, what do I talk into? Because I've always had to talk in to a microphone. Going back to Jenny's comment. So that was the purpose of Hobby Evolution. It was kind of like I want to see how the hobby has evolved for me, and look how much it's evolved for me from episode number 1, which was when June of 2020. We're 584 episodes in. And for me, I was just kind of getting started with heavy eBay sales. I had a store before the pandemic, but I would keep it up to, I had 1,000 free items per month, and I would keep it right at 1,000. And then all of a sudden they opened the floodgates at the end of April of 2020. And that's when I just started, pounding out those listings, and it evolved into, I'm working from home, doing the side hustle, eBay stuff, buying, random Cubs cards, anything Cubs that came my way, just buy. And then all of a sudden it turned into, okay, I'm going to do this as a side business, and I'm going to be a little more careful of what I spend money on, keep a little nest egg in case I would potentially do this full time. It crossed my mind, but it wasn't something I expected to do. Even as late as like spring of last year, it's like, no, I don't want to sell cards full time because it's a hobby I enjoy, using my card money to keep my Cubs collection going. And then I didn't like my real job, and then I began to dislike it even more as time went on. And it's like, now I'm miserable, and I'm going to do this. And, before I made that decision, crunch the numbers. Okay, can this work? I've got this nest egg from the last year of selling on eBay that I just set aside for seed money. That'll keep me afloat for a year as I build the business. And that's kind of how it evolved. And that's, that was kind of the genesis of this show, Hobby Evolution. How does my hobby evolve? Well, not only did it evolve from a hobby to a business. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat. Card Hobbyist says, anyone have issues with buying shipping labels for orders in bulk on eBay? The purchase button is grayed out, and all eBay support can tell me is that it is a known issue. That's probably that's probably all that. It's probably just a site-wide glitch right now, because I actually have heard, excuse me, I've heard several people mention that. I don't use that bulk option. I've never used it, so I'm not aware of how it works, but I have I have seen multiple people on various forums and platforms mention they're having issues with the bulk shipping labels. And if eBay support tells you it's a known issue, they probably don't know, or it hasn't been passed on to customer service to let them know. So it's kind of like when a thunderstorm knocks out power, and it's a known issue. Your power's out. You call the power company, hey, my power's out. Yes, it's a known issue. We're working on it. And either they know what the issue is and they're working on it, or they're still trying to figure out what happened. So wait and see is the probably all you can do at this point. Matt Skaggs, I do the same thing. Matt, is this the same Matt that's a dealer at the Madison Card Show? I hope it is. That would be awesome. Jenny says, no issues here. Shipping right now on eBay. Knock on wood, she says. Jenny, do you use the bulk label option? I've never used the bulk label option. And since I do kind of sell in volume, at least, maybe I should check it out. Might help. Dan, what is up? I did not get a notification today. It is weird. YouTube's really weird. I don't know why that works. Dave, what is up, Dave? I enjoy Hobby Evolution while I am shipping. Some of the other podcasts I can't focus as well. That's great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Herman says it seems like those webcams have a nice mic. I wonder if it is the webcam that I don't know. I don't know where the audio is coming from when I don't have this thing on. Jenny printed a label for Verona, Wisconsin. Hey, that's my backyard. Jenny says, oh, it's a bulk option for shipping. Yeah, I don't use bulk. I would get confused. It is Matt. Matt is one of my dealers at the Madison Card Show. So if you come to the Madison Card Show, the upstairs, the main Capitol Ballroom, walk in, and the row of tables, the first row of tables to the left, he is on the far end. So he's got 2 tables on the far end right next to Matt and Harry. They have the first 3 tables on the left-hand side when you walk into, like, if you come from the stairs straight in. And there's another vendor from the Madison Card Show, Nick. I just printed bulk labels and worked for me. And Bo, you would save good time printing them in bulk. That is good to hear because I have over 200 to ship today. So I might look into that. Nick is also a vendor at the Madison Card Show. Nick, how do you make sure you don't get them mixed up? That's actually a great question because that's what because I don't know how it works. And that would be my next question is, how do you know which order? If it only prints the name, does it print something that goes with it? That would be my concern. Card Hobbyist is asking Nick what browser he uses. So yeah. So what else do I have? Anything goes. So if anybody has any other comments, and we can help each other out in the chat, that's awesome. Herman says I bought a few things from Nick last month. Then, very cool. Garden talk. I planted the rest of my garden yesterday. And here says Nick says, as they come out of the printer, I make a pile and keep putting them on the bottom, and it should be in order. Okay. Can you pick and choose? You don't have to. What I mean by that is, can I pick like chat or chat? Can I pick or choose? What's up, John, by the way? Nick uses Chrome. I also use Chrome. Can you like pick and choose like these last 10? I don't know. So Jenny brings up Series 2 rookies. So yes, we can touch on that because that'll be a fun topic. Before I want to talk about my garden. I did finish my garden yesterday because why not? When I completed my mowing task and my allergies are kicking my rear, why not go to the nursery and be around all these flowers and more pollen? So went to the nursery. They said the truck would come in with tomatoes on Wednesday, and I should have went on Wednesday, but we had rain on Wednesday and Thursday. I was getting stuff ready for the show, so I didn't. I'm like, I'll just go on Sunday, holiday weekend. Their tomato inventory was like wiped out. They had just one kind of cherry, one kind of tomatoes, and it was just the slicer, the regular like slicer tomatoes. So I picked up 2 of those, and that was it from the nursery. I'm like, I don't want to go to Menards. I hate going to Menards for vegetables because their inventory's kind of been, it's always kind of crappy. So I went. Well, Menards here just like built a new gardening section, and it's really nice. And their inventory is awesome, like even better than the nursery. So I went, and they had like all kinds of things. I think one of my cucumber plants is not going to make it. So I picked up a Japanese cucumber. They're not the seedless variety, but they're limited. They have limited seeds. So I picked up a Japanese cucumber plant, planted that with my cucumbers. And then I picked up a cherry tomato and a beefsteak. I think they call it Bigger Boy, basically a beefsteak tomato. And I picked up 4 plants altogether. What else did I get? So I got the 2 tomatoes, the Japanese cucumber, and what else did I get? I had my hands were full. Maybe it was just those 3. 4 tomatoes, the cucumber. Yeah, I think it was just those. Must have been just those. So I got those planted. I put my little tomato fertilizer on the garden. So I've got cucumbers, tomatoes, dill for the pickles that I make, basil to feed the Japanese beetles because we don't use basil like every once in a while. Let's get some basil. Well, we've got to find some that the Japanese beetles haven't eaten, devoured. What else is in there? Put some lavender to keep the pests away. Put some marigolds to keep the rabbits away. And I did a jalapeno plant also for the pickles. I make spicy pickles for a friend of mine who puts them in Bloody Marys. So that's my garden talk. Let's see. So we're going to talk about Series 2. Nick says, yeah, it gives you an option to cherry pick orders you want to print before you pay. Excellent. I might try that out this morning. Costco has tomatoes. They do. I was not feeling a Costco run yesterday. I just wasn't feeling a Costco holiday run. Sunday before Memorial Day, Costco. Menards was bad enough. Menards was especially the garden section, because they only have one checkout. So I just go inside. And actually, I found a register that was open. And they actually had several registers open. Kudos to Menards. Because most big box retailers, you go in, they have one checkout, and that's it. So even though it was a madhouse, I was able to check out in quick fashion. Was not going to deal with a Costco run. We bought tomatoes of different sizes so we can have them producing at different times, because otherwise you get 1 million tomatoes at the same week. Yes, that is an issue. I like to get all my tomatoes at one time. That way I can do all my canning at one time. There you go. There's a reason why to plant them at the same time. I'm along the line of thinking with Jenny, because I don't can and I just eat them. And so sometimes I'm like eating tomatoes, every freaking day. And then you plant so many, and it's like, I'm going to plant all these vegetables. And then when they all start popping up, it's like, why the hell did I buy all these vegetables? Because now you're giving them away to everybody. Like somebody's walking their dog. Hey, do you want some tomatoes? I mean, how many times, like in my neighborhood, there's like 3 or 4 people that have like buckets of vegetables out in their front yard in July and August because they planted so much, like trying to give it away. John says, please subscribe to this channel. And I believe that's Ed's channel, as Safe at Home Sports Card says. Thanks, John. That's on my to watch list today. So check out Ed's video. It got rave reviews when I saw the comments on Twitter. I've not had the chance to watch it yet. I will today. Herman says, yes, it was a great video yesterday. So check that out. John, that 70s card show, linked it up. That's Ed's channel, Safe at Home Sports Cards. Dan says, requested shipment on a Japanese package yesterday and hope to do a Menko video next week. John takes his tomatoes to the Eagles games. If anyone has extra garden produce, consider local food shelves. They love getting that fresh stuff. Oh, that's a great idea. We actually have a couple, and I don't know if like anybody can bring vegetables in, but there's like it's like a home delivery service. I had a neighbor that would get it. Last neighborhood I lived in, I had a coworker who got it, and they would bring you whatever's in season, like every week or every 2 weeks. You would get like a basket of fresh produce, and it was like a subscription. Like you paid whatever a month, and they brought you fresh vegetables. Let's see, but that was a for-profit, not like a charity. So Jenny wants to talk about Series 2 rookies. So, and I don't know if I talked about this. I did a video a couple weeks ago when Christopher Morel of the Cubs came up. Growing tomatoes sounds suspiciously like collecting cards in the 90s. Yes, exactly. I'm going to keep buying, and now I can't give this stuff away. So I did a video a couple weeks ago on Christopher Morel. He came up, made his debut with the Cubs, and hit a home run in his first at bat. Pinch hit home run first at bat, Christopher Morel, and did not get a Topps Now card. And like, I was outraged, because isn't that what Topps Now is all about? But the more, and I have a Cubs collector chat in Twitter, and there's 20, 25 of us that are in this chat. And we're talking back and forth, and somebody mentioned that once the big question, like as it happened before those cards were released the next day, the big question was, is Christopher Morel going to have the rookie logo or the call-up logo? And somebody said, will he even get a card? That was even mentioned. And it's like, well, yeah, he hit a home run in his first at bat. He's got to get a card. He didn't. So somebody mentioned, who was in the know, that if you get a call-up, that means that's like the deadline. So all future rookies, after one call-up is printed, all future rookies get the call-up logo. So that I was not aware of. So my thought was, okay, so Christopher Morel, he's a fringe prospect. He's not even, well, depending on the source, he's basically not a top 10 Cubs prospect, let alone a top 100 baseball prospect. So he's not even a top 10 prospect. Wasn't really expected to debut this year for the Cubs, like maybe a late call up, but certainly not somebody that was on Topps baseball cards radar. And here's the thing. So play devil's advocate. Yes, he did hit a home run in his first at bat. Is that worthy of a Topps Now card? Yes, it is. But what if, and Christopher Morel has high strikeout tendencies, what if he strikes out his next 12 times and gets demoted back to AA Tennessee or AAA Iowa, and he never comes back? So Topps puts a Topps Now card. He's got the rookie. Now they've got to put him either in a product this year, or if it was the call-up tag next year, and he may be a one-hit wonder, literally. So I think that's something that, Topps was playing with. And I think now as it comes out, we started seeing the call-up tag be affixed to these Topps Now cards not long after Christopher Morel hit his home run. I think this is all just speculation on my part. What I think happened was, obviously Christopher Morel was not on Topps radar, and it's too late in the game to get somebody off radar into a product this year based on supply chain issues, paper issues. They've got their checklist made out. They probably have a list of guys. Okay, we're going to get this guy in a 2022 product, Series 2 or update, if they make their debut. If not, we're going to throw this veteran reliever in the checklist. So, and we know that that's, a contingency plan that Topps has when it comes to rookies. They have a list of guys. If he makes his debut by this date, he's going to be a rookie in this series. I think Christopher Morel was still under the rookie. They had to use him. If he got a Topps Now card, he would have had to have had the rookie logo, but they weren't prepared for him to get a card because, what if he doesn't play in another game? We just wasted a card on a guy that may never play in the big leagues again, which I think would be pretty cool if that were the case. But anyway, they can't give him the call up because it was before the date. So that's what I think. That's my speculation on why Christopher Morel doesn't have a card. He actually has played really well, and you could say he's definitely deserving of a rookie card. But, maybe it comes, maybe he has a big game. I wouldn't be surprised if Morel has another big game this year and he'll get a Topps Now card with the call-up logo, and they put him into one of the sets next year because he's done so well now after his debut. So that's my thoughts on Christopher Morel. Now, when it comes to Series 2, which is next week, is it next? No, it's June 8th, I think, is when Series 2 releases. So we kind of have a thought process, and I tweeted this out. I can't even remember who I said would get a rookie card because I did a video on this on Hobby Evolution back around Series 1 time, who I thought would get a rookie card in Series 2 in Topps update. So before I get into that, let's go back into the chat. Herman says, I can almost get 2 cases of tomatoes every year, and we blow through them in less than 6 months between pasta sauce, tomato soup, and grilled cheese sandwiches in the winter. John says you will be standing in front of Topps headquarters with pitchforks and flames when Series 2 comes out. This will never end. I won't be upset. And here's why. Now, I really want Seiya Suzuki to have a Series 2 rookie card. But at the end of the day, and he will have a rookie card because he has the rookie logo on his Topps Now card. So Seiya Suzuki will get a rookie card either in Series 2 or Topps Update. If it's not in Series 2, I'll be okay because I know it's going to be in Topps Update, and that'll actually make it a little more rare than if it's in Series 2, where in Series 2, you got the factory sets, you've got all that stuff, and there's just more production of Series 2 than Topps Update. So I'll be okay if it's in Topps Update based on that. A little more scarce. Jenny says, I'll tell you where I won't be standing in a hobby shop for a hobby box, $125 for a Series 1 box. Got 0 serial number cards, and my hit was a $2 relic. That's a bummer. Yeah, I think like $90 would be my top on Topps. Now, if Seiya Suzuki, so if it's 125 at the hobby shop, what was Series 1 boxes on the Topps website? I think they were like 100 or maybe 90, but after tax and shipping, it was going to put it in that like 110, 115 range, I think. I'm not going to pay that. I'll buy blaster boxes. I'm just chasing Suzuki anyway. So it's like, I just want, his rookie card and, an insert rookie if he gets one. So I'm not gonna buy hobby boxes. And especially if you're chasing one guy, buying boxes is not the way to chase, unless you just want like one rookie card, base rookie, go the blaster route. Let's see. Dan says, DYK, how many tables does the Rockford show usually have? How many did the Green Bay show have? So the Rockford show is like 80. The Green Bay show was 110, I think. And then the Janesville show yesterday was 115. So those are the table counts at the other shows. Let's see. Cooter says, good morning. What did I miss? Quiet Tom Bo is on a run where all of his AV is working. Thank you. Yeah. And if in case you missed it, yesterday morning, I had to do a second video because my mic cut out in the 20 minutes into the program. So had to go back and start over. John says, I loved my $100 hobby box this week. There's a damn near mint Billy Williams in it. I thought 125 was a good price in comparison to what is out there. Basketball was 500 on the shelf. Football was 800. Yeah. Now we're programmed like Bowman. Like we've had Bowman boxes at what, 300, 350 now for a couple years. Now I'm programmed. I had Real Breaks, Tom at Real Breaks has hobby. By the way, he has a card shop in Waupun, and Waupun, Wisconsin. And so he's been set up the last few months, and he brings hobby boxes, and he has better prices than online, Blowout and all that. And so his hobby boxes, 300 for Bowman, which is a really good price. Now for us, or those of you that have been in the hobby and were buying Bowman boxes for $70 5 years ago, yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. But that's the going rate, and that's actually cheaper. And somebody was talking about, yeah, I want to open some Bowman. Somebody's got them here, but they're $300 a hobby box. And I said, that's actually a really good deal because online, I haven't checked lately, but let's just go up to Blowout right now. Getting Blowout cards is usually where you'll find, if they're not the cheapest online, they're within $5. And that's where I usually order my stuff from. So that's where I go to check prices on wax. Before I forget, I also want to share something that I may potentially buy. And if Nick and Matt are still in the chat, I'm probably leaning toward not buying this, what I'm going to talk about. Oh, they're $300 on Blowout. Okay, so 300 is like the going rate. So let's see. I thought 125. So I'm going to talk about Series 2, and then I want to talk about something that I had talks about purchasing that I think I'm going to pass on, but I think it may line up with either Matt or Nick. And if so, let me know. So I'll get to that. Y'all can just get your teams from Series 2 in the live draft break. Herman, I'm in. I'm totally in for a break. Definitely, I am in for a Series 2 break. So Series 2, I expect Seiya Suzuki to have a rookie card in Series 2, and here's why. In some people say no, he probably won't be in until update. Here's why I think Suzuki will be in Series 2. He was on Topps' radar early because he was going to be signing with a team. So they knew, Topps knew Seiya Suzuki was going to be on an opening day roster like long before spring training. Like they knew back in the fall of last year, they knew he was going to be like the top international star. So let's put Suzuki in. They probably had Series 1 deadline for photos and everything because Suzuki, was he signed? I think he was signed after the lockout. I can't. Anyway, I'm sure he was probably too late once he signed to get into Series 1. So it's like, we'll put him into Series 2. So that's why I think Suzuki will be in Series 2. I think Bobby Witt Jr. will be in Series 2 because he was kind of penciled in to make that opening day roster. He did make the opening day roster. Other guys that did make opening day rosters, so we have Bobby Witt Jr., Spencer Torkelson, Julio Rodriguez, CJ Abrams. And am I missing any others? So Bobby Witt Jr., I think, will be in Series 2. Possibly Spencer Torkelson, but he was kind of a fringe guy to make the opening day roster as well. I think Julio Rodriguez and CJ Abrams will be saved for update, and Torkelson could be saved for update as well. But I think we'll get Bobby Witt Jr. for sure, and I think we'll for sure get Seiya Suzuki in Series 2. That's my prediction on Series 2 rookies, the main ones being Bobby Witt Jr. and Seiya Suzuki. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jenny? Anybody else have thoughts on Series 2 rookies? Jenny says, Herman, are you going to order bulk blasters versus hobby? John says, Seattle Pilots still available in your break. Herman, count Victor in. Would love to do retail because of the extra parallels, but not sure I could find that much. Hopefully you do. Yeah, I think blasters would be kind of fun. I'm not opposed to either. I think it's just a fun break. Get some friends together in the chat. It'll be a good time. Looks like we may have to draw straws for the Cubs. Uh-oh. We've got competition for the Cubs. Let's see. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Series 2 rookies. I think the checklist will be out this week, but somebody was asking me at the show on Saturday, when will the checklist come out? Typically in the past, before COVID, if a product released, product releases mostly on Wednesdays. If it's June 8th, you could expect the checklist to be released at some point on Wednesday, June 1st. But then COVID hit and all kinds of wackiness occurred. And now we're getting checklists 2 weeks out, 1 week out, 3 days out, the next day after release. It's been all over the place. So hard to say when that checklist will actually be out. Hopefully in the next few days, we'll see it. Let's see. Victor says, I know Cubs stocks are taken, but I can take the Giants. So I had a potential purchase come up for me. One of my dealers at the Madison Card Show, he's mainly a vintage dealer, and he was talking about a bunch of sets, 70s. Oh, John, you're going to love this. A bunch of 70 sets that he bought from somebody. It was like his uncle's collection down in like North Carolina. And he's like, these sets are like immaculate and they're sharp. So he's talking about some basketball sets, some 70s basketball sets. So he texted me yesterday and showed me some pictures. It's a 71-72 basketball, Topps basketball, near complete set. The only cards missing are the checklists. So it's got the Wilt, the Oscar Robertson, Pete Maravich, the rookies, Dave Cowens, and who was the other rookie? Rick Barry. So he showed me pictures. They're really sharp. I think the Oscar looks really good. But again, these are just pictures. The Pete Maravich looks pretty good. And the centering is, to be expected on 70s cards. Not terribly off-centered, but, just a little off-center. The Wilt actually looks fairly centered and really crisp. The Alcindor has, I believe the Alcindor has the corner ding. There's a corner ding on the Alcindor, and it's, again, a little off-center. Yeah, he says the Alcindor has some small dings on the bottom 2 corners. The other 3 look super sharp to me. So that's the 71-72 top set. He's got a pretty good price on it. I was doing some comps online, and it's going to be tough because what I would do is break it out and sell the singles. I would potentially grade some of the, probably not the Alcindor because of the dings, but the Wilt, the Oscar, the Maravich. But then I'm looking at the price, and I don't know grading, so it's like I don't want to pay $50, on top of what I'm paying for the set. Pay $50 to PSA or whatever the price is. I don't know what the turnaround time is. Say it's 6 months now, and get back a 5, and the 5 sells for $70, and I paid $50 to grade it. So that's my concern. So I don't know if it's something I'll pull the trigger. I don't know if Matt is still in here because I know Matt's a basketball fan. I know Nick's into basketball, or maybe tell Colton about it because it is one of the dealers at the Madison Card Show that has it. So if anybody else is interested, I can give you his contact information and hook you guys up. So he has, and I think he has a run of 70 sets. He said yesterday he was sorting out the 71-72s, and then he said he's working on, he's going to go through the 73-74 top set next, and there's lots of duplicates in the 73-74. I think he said the only year he had every set except for 72-73, which is bizarre because that's like the set that I always see when it comes to 70s basketball. 72-73 is like the most common card I see in vintage basketball. So it's a really good price. I'm not going to say the price because I'll let you guys talk that over if you're interested. So yeah, if anybody's interested in a 71-72 Topps basketball set or any other sets from the 70s, he has some good prices on these. So yeah. Dan says, hit that like button, please. I appreciate that. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. John says Luber took the checklist with him. That was kind of what's happening with Josh Luber. We had that rumor pop up last week, and we did I did a video just giving my opinion on the scenario. I know there was others out there, and then crickets, and there's been crickets since. So maybe it was just that. Maybe it was somebody. Maybe it was conspiracy theory. Maybe somebody within Fanatics, because it said somebody within Fanatics that's high up or whatever, an executive. Maybe it was planted to put that news out there as damage control because Josh Luber was getting so much heat over backyard breaks, him going on backyard breaks. So Fanatics is like, hey, we need to do some damage control. Let's say he's on his way out, and that'll kind of, I don't know, that could backfire. And that's not uncommon to plant to plant fake news from corporations. Maybe, hey, let's do some damage control here and make Fanatics look like the good guys. But then at the end of the day, there's no smoke, and then all of a sudden, crickets, and everybody forgot because there's this groundswell of Luber talk, and then crickets. And now we forgot everything. Like, we don't care about the backyard breaks thing. We don't care about Luber. He's just kind of in the background. Josh, don't go on backyard breaks anymore. Stay out of the public eye for a little bit, and this will all go away. Maybe that's conspiracy theory. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was little fake news. Hey, let's leak this fake news and sweep everything under the rug. John says early 70s sets for all sports were peak of design in my mind. And I agree with John. And I was born in the 80s. And I agree. I love the 70s. Wasn't that a VH1? I loved those shows. I love the 70s. I love the 80s. I love the 90s. And then it was like when I love the 2000s came out, it's like, holy crap, I'm getting old. But I agree. 70s, man, early, yeah. I would say up to 75. And then they jumped the shark. 70 76. I hated 76 tops. Hated that set. Hated 79. I liked 77 and 78, and I'm talking baseball. I'm trying to think now football. The hockey I'm not going to talk about because I don't know anything about hockey. So baseball, early 70s. I didn't like 70. I hated the grays. I didn't like 71 black. 72 I loved. 73 I loved for the simplicity. 74 same. 75 really love. And then it was like downhill slide. I hated 76. 77 was okay. I like 78, and 78 I only like because it's nostalgia for me. That was the first like 70s card I ever laid my eyes on. So that was like, oh my God, this is an old card in 1989. This is like 10 years old. And then 79 looks like 76. Don't like it. Football, love 70 tops football. Love that 70 tops football design. 71, I can't remember what 71 looks like for football. 72 is okay. I love 73, and that's kind of on the same lines. 73 tops. A friend of mine, his dad was collecting, like 73 must have been his big collect, like 89 was my big collecting year as a kid. That's when I had like I hoarded cards. I think my friend's dad 73 was that way because I remember they had boxes in their upstairs just filled with like random 73 tops football cards in like boxes everywhere. So 73 is kind of on the same lines as 78 baseball for me because of that nostalgia factor. 74 tops football is kind of meh to me. And then the later 70s in football I liked. 77, I love the 77 football design, which is similar to 77 baseball, but it's similar but different. I don't know. I like 77 and 78. Could be because I had a friend who like acquired his uncle's collection and basically traded me all of his 77 and 78 and 79 tops football cards for whoever the hot prospect was in 1994. Basketball, early like 72, 73, same. I remember that as my first like vintage basketball card I saw. The 71, 72 set's pretty cool. The 70, 71, I think was the last year of the Tall Boys. So that's a great set. And then the late 70s, I'm just kind of like, on. So that's just my opinion. But I love the 70s. I think the 70s, and I've said that many times. 70s is by far my favorite decade of designs for Topps sports cards across the board: football, basketball, baseball. Let's see. Herman says, Jenny, I'll check on a case of blasters or hangers. I know hangers always have the best odds for SPs and variations. Let's see. Where are we at here? Jenny says, cool, sounds good. I just know from what I opened Series 1 to what Bo opened Series 1 retail was way more inserts and hits. Plus the blasters have those relic type thing cards. John is drooling over there with this talk now. Cliff is with us. What is up, Cliff? Shady stuff in the backyard. I need someone to plant my departure for my company, spice things up. There you go. They call it Palace Intrigue. Dan says, I won a 2007 Cosigners Gold Hyper number to 5 Burley Creedy the other day. Everyone loves that set, right? I'm not familiar with that set, but I remember Joe Creedy. I remember the first game I attended at Comiskey, and it's always going to be Comiskey to me. I don't know what the new guaranteed rate field, I think is what they call it now. It's Comiskey. So the first time I was at Comiskey, Joe Creedy was in the minor leagues, and I remember that South Side Chicago accent guy in front of me, and they look like everybody on the South Side of Chicago looks like the Saturday Night Live characters. Like everybody has that Ditka mustache. They talk like this. That's a terrible Chicago accent. I apologize to my fellow Chicagoans. my terrible Chicago accent. But they all talk like that, and most of them look like that. The super fans, and I just remember this guy in front of me talking about Joe Creedy and when's Joe Creedy. I can't even do it. I'm not. When's Joe Creedy coming up? Joe Creedy, Joe Creedy, Joe Creedy. Was it Cellular US? It was US Cellular Field for a while. I think it might have been Comiskey the first time I went, which would have been late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember when it changed to US Cellular Field. It just recently changed to guarantee rate within the last couple of years. Guaranteed rate field. It actually might have been US Cellular Field when I attended, because it might have changed in the 90s. Let's see. Park opened. So the new park opened in 91 is Comiskey. In 2003, it was renamed US Cellular Field. So it would have been Comiskey when I was there the first time. Because I think it was 2000, 99, 2000, 2001 when I went to the first game at Comiskey. Let's see. Card Hobbyist pop-up video was my favorite VH1 show. That was a great. I love pop-up. When they do pop-up movies sometimes, I wish there was more of that. I love, because you'll find, sometimes when I'm watching a movie, I'll Wikipedia and Google, oh, who's this actor? Who's this actress? Oh, they were this character. And I'll be on my wife's watching the movie. And I'll be on my wife's on the phone too, or the iPad. And I'll be like, oh, this character was in this show we watched. Oh, so we'll do that. So I love the pop-ups when it pops up and it's like, this scene was filmed in Waukegan, Illinois. And it's like, oh, cool. Let's see. Love the grays, love the black. 70 Tops football might be the classiest design ever. I agree. I don't know if I have. My football is alphabetized, so I don't have it by year, so I can't pick one out real quick. Dan says, yes, it'll always be Comiskey. DeCoach, absolutely. US Cellular started in 2003. By the way, the park looks great now. They finally got it right after 30 years. I have not been to the south side in at least more than 10 years. I'm not sure when the last time I was there. 2008 maybe. It would have been after the World Series, but more than 10 years ago. Changing the seats from blue to green was huge. Jenny, Steel City shows retail releases on the 24th versus 8th for hobby. But I don't know if Blowout. Steel City, you won't get it on time usually. I would, and I know Blowout has this. I know a lot of people don't like Blowout, but I'll tell you what, you'll get it on release day. I always get my product on release day when I order from Blowout, and it's the same price, or within $5. But I don't know if they have retail. Let's see, Tops Series 2. Go to Blowout cards, pre-sale. We've got a hobby case, jumbo case, hobby box, jumbo box, Series 1, Series 1, Series 1, Series 1. They have retail for Series 1, but they do not for Series 2. So it's only hobby on Blowout cards. But that's what I like about Blowout is they'll ship it. Yeah, Blowout doesn't have retail. But they'll ship it before release day, so you have it on your doorstep on release. In fact, when I bought, whatever the last hobby product I bought, it came the day before its street date. They shipped it on Monday and it arrived on Tuesday. Let's see. I have a snipe on a White Sox pocket schedule. Herman, you on vacation anyway on the 8th. Just realized this live stream is like Mystery Science Theater. We all sit and watch the big talking head on the screen and make snarky remarks. Blowout doesn't show retail. Let's see. Yeah, Blowout is where I normally get my hobby. Yeah, Blowout's awesome. I know a lot of people poo-poo Blowout, but it's great. They have great prices and they get you the stuff on time or early. And I've had it's been hit or miss when I order from Steel City or Dave and Adams. Usually it's like Friday after release that I get the product because they'll ship it on release day. That's been my personal history with the other two big online dealers. John says they're still waiting for people to be called up so they can add them into the set. So we're going on an hour. I'm running out of things to talk about, and I've got over 200 things to ship. So I'm going to end the chat. Hit the like button if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. I'm going to do a live video in the prime time this week. I'm going to go through those Chicago Bears cards that I bought in Green Bay last weekend. So I'm probably going to aim to do that Wednesday night. Also, I need to get going because I don't want to release any information. But there's a new TV sports collectible reality show that's going to be in production later this year. And so I have talked to a casting agent regarding this. So I'm going to be sending them. I've got to get my rooms cleaned up so I can send them video. And they're like it's like basically like a casting call. So it's really cool. So that's something else that I said I don't want to give any details, but then I release the details. So I'm going to be doing that this week as well. So I aim Wednesday night to do a live video on the Chicago Bears cards that I pulled, and mainly I want to do this because I love 80s Bears cards and 70s Bears cards, and that's basically what all these are. And I want to do it for Zach and Porter because I know they love Bears cards too, and they're going to be getting some of these cards. So look for Wednesday night. I'll do a live video on digging through these Chicago Bears cards. Let's see. John says, like it up, subscribe to Ed's channel, vote for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. John, if real quick, can you link, if you have the link available for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame voting, pop that into the chat. I don't have it handy. It'll take me a little bit to find it. So, let's see. Jenny's heading out to do chores. Ed, have a great day. You as well. I've had blowout poo-poos, but never had a poo-poo blowout. If I have to do hobby, I may get it from my LCS since it'll be a couple days after release. I like to try and help him get up his allocations. Definitely, that's cool. Did you see any Sterling Sharp stuff at the Green Bay show? Nothing that I saw. A lot of when people ask me when I'm at shows, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? Probably, but I'm not like paying attention. So it's like I don't really know. One of my buddies, he's always asking, like, is there any like good vintage? And it's like, well, I don't know. What's good vintage? I don't know. Because good vintage to me, I love like pre-war tobacco, especially when it comes to Cubs. But if it's like 50s and 60s, it's just kind of like I just kind of walk on by. Let's see. TD Sports Cards, good morning to you. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Get a neck tattoo and you'll get the gig. Dan says, do it Tuesday night. I'm off Wednesday. I can't Tuesday night because I'm on Hobby Hotline. Thank you for mentioning that, though, because I always forget, especially when I'm on. So tomorrow night, I'm on Hobby Hotline with Rich and Brad. We're going to do some card show talk. So looking forward to that. Hobby Hotline, 8 p.m. Central tomorrow night. So no, I cannot do it Tuesday night this week because I'll be on Hobby Hotline. Remember us little people. So John, that 70s card show, just put the link. Vote for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. Link is right there. Check that out. Victor says, thanks for the quick hands. All vintage is good. Absolutely. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'll be back on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central for Hobby Hotline. Uncle Rich Klein, the Texas card dude Brad Bethune, and myself will be on tomorrow night. And then aiming for Wednesday night to do the Chicago Bears, just going through Chicago Bears cards. So it's just going to be a long form video, and we're going to look at Chicago Bears cards from the 70s and 80s. So if you're not interested in that, probably won't want to tune in. But if you're bored Wednesday night and you want to look at old football cards, it'll be fun. Let's see. So have a great Monday. Be safe out there, and we'll talk tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central.